called Tiny because I am a messed up person with a twisted sense of humor.
Right you are. Okay, folks, hello and welcome to Seekers of Legend, Forging the New Gods, episode 15. How are you doing, folks?
Good.
I'm good. How's everybody else?
I'm back.
Excellent timing. Alright. Well, there's one thing we're going to have to deal with from last week, which we'll do as soon as Nashi can join us, but I believe he's currently away from, considering he's muted. But
No
that...
worries.
But, so...
Nope, I just had to turn on push to talk.
Okay, right. Nashi, just wanted to say, man, unfortunately, the one thing I had to tell you, because I was originally going to mention this before the session, but obviously things got a little bit tight on time. Unfortunately, putting the chicken eggs in the vampiric enchantment bowl will not actually result in vampiric chickens, despite how amusing that would be.
Alright. No vampire chicken.
Well,
This
we
is
learned something.
Yes, applying enchantments to living creatures is a heck of a lot more complex than a normal enchantment. It can be done, just not with a normal enchanting focus.
Guess that means to keep testing.
Or that means I need to put generations in here.
Sure.
Ever so slowly enchant their blood.
No, I will say now that alone will not do it.
Sorry for anybody who does not like lab rats being tested upon.
I was gonna say, you fair? Yeah, you. Yeah.
These are chickens, though.
Yeah, I mean, same principles. At least you're not like makeup testing on them. I'll give you that.
Well,
No, modifying the genetic makeup's so much better.
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun.
So, was there anybody still trying to combine their powers like Captain Planet, or are we done with that?
I'd be up for it, but just I don't have any ideas right now.
Well, we can always take care of that later.
Okay.
Me and Nix, or Emma and Nix have our owls and ravens we need to get done.
Ah, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
plus I'm looking into the abyss.
Oh, that's right, the abyss. I wanna listen to that one.
Ah, yes. I'll need you to roll for that one again, because I've forgotten what you rolled. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it.
31.
Right. Okay, right, yes. So we'll take care. We'll take care of that in just a second.
and his wolf's a female.
Yes. Now I just have to wait for the system to decide it wants to accept uploading images I'm trying to upload.
Sweet.
Not really, it seems to dislike having certain types of file applied.
Nash E, do you want to, because I think enough time has passed where you could have probably made a couple more of those mithril armor sets. Does anybody still need one?
I believe we had the full party decked out last I checked.
No, not me. I was holding off.
Alright.
So
Oh yeah, I would have been able to make you one.
okay, all right, perfect. Then I'm gonna swap my armor to the mithril breastplate then.
Sweet.
Just remember, like, I'm just to speed everything up. I'm making them magical.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Oh, and I've at least.
By the way, Nashti, I know you wanted the dragon fighter. Is it alright if Emma trains the dragon fighter with her magus, just so 2 magical fighting classes are able to get practice off each other?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, she thought that'd just be a good idea that way. That way she doesn't have to teach 2 people combat magic at the same time. She just, okay, you use your sword. Yes, good. Now you use your sword. Okay, good. Trying to teach each other.
Not swords. Dragon dude's using bow.
Oh, bow.
Okay. Right.
Dang it. But no, well, they can still work on getting the art. They can still be training buddies.
Here, dodge this arrow.
Good. Now set that arrow on fire and incinerate before it hits you. Very good.
Oh yeah, they didn't note this last time. Just because this part of my plan would be visible by all.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I'm sure I misheard.
Oh, this part of my plan would be visible by all. So I'm gonna send Zorgon down and basically get a list of the most depressed people.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to table that for talking to you after the game, because I'm fairly sure there's going to be issues.
No, there already is.
Alright. We'll set that aside and talk to you after the game or at some point during the week, Nashi.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's one of the things that I messaged you last week.
Right, I must have missed it. I'll go over it again. Right. That aside, so, Aris, you were staring into the abyss, correct? And got a 31.
Yes.
Okay. As you begin to... Okay, so your body calls out to the shadows, and in a way they answer. You have been able to tap into the plane of shadow. You are not completely there, but you're effectively able to view the shadow plane version of these mines. There are several twisted looking reflections of naturally occurring creatures crawling about.
I'll move through it, looking around, see if there's just what kind of creatures are twisted.
Well, you see chiefly underground creatures, so equivalents to things like the Bugane, which is a sort of underground giant kin. Various giant moles, badgers, all twisted with the effectively the shadow creature template. You would also see what appear to be the shadows of dwarfs walking about.
For now, I'll just observe, see what creatures I pick up. I'll probably run them by Emma just so I can see if we can figure anything out about them before I approach them.
Okay, right. So what's this? so you're just walking about and looking around for now.
Correct.
Okay. Well, you're able to stay there for You're able to stay there for about half an hour before you eventually feel yourself being pulled back. However, you do realise that you were effectively a projection within the Shadow Realm. You do think, however, that now, once per week, you and a set number of people you could take with you could venture into the Shadow Plane. But it will take quite a lot out of you.
Okay, good. I'm hurrying off to find Emma. Then.
Yeah, I will say basically the day that you do the Shadow Plane manifest teleportation, it will be a choice of that day and potentially a day or two after it, and potentially the next day, depending on how well you roll, of not having access to your shadow weapon that day.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it basically uses up all your potential charges.
Well, you didn't give me charges for the shadow weapon anyway, so.
Oh right, sorry, I thought I had, but effectively, yeah, you have to focus all of your energy into creating that tether to the shadow plane and the ability to come back from it.
I'm basically just stepping into whatever Emma's working on, Emma's workshop, and I'm just saying, Emma?
You will see Emma with the person that she's trained to be the arcane scoundrel, the magus, and the dragon fighter, just giving them an overview of the magic they'll have. Just, yes?
I may have just looked into another plane.
Excuse me. Emma will immediately just grab you, sit you down, grab it up and say, tell me everything.
I tell her everything, and I was hoping to basically see if you might be able to at least figure out anything about these creatures, see if it might be worth approaching.
Alright. Emma's gonna roll knowledge plane.
Okay.
And see what she can think about them. Just go through all the stores and screens in her head.
Just for a second.
12. Darn it. I rolled the 2. The rolls are terrible.
And what's gone up with my blooming... Excuse me for a second. Ah, that's what's wrong. I'm in the wrong subsection.
Just saying, you can ask Erin. She knows planes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Well, if you want to ask Aaron, because what you basically know is that the shadow plane is closer to the negative energy plane. Therefore, a lot of the creatures that manifest there, individual, as a natural creature, there tend towards a more evil alignment. Although that can vary, they do tend towards evil.
Okay, Emma will share this knowledge, but she'll also say that
I've not got
Erin
the...
will probably know a little bit more. Erin knows a lot about the planes as well.
I'm just moving you guys over to the level 1 map, just because I've been having the rest
No
of...
worries. Let's see, what do I get? Yeah!
Okay.
You did say a little bit more.
Alright.
I modifier and you still roll better than...
Welcome to my life.
Hey, it's
Okay,
called cleric luck.
Okay, so with that, you know that whilst the creatures of the Shadow Planes are naturally lean further towards evil, that someone with a great enough influence over the power of darkness, such as Arusk, could potentially influence those within proximity of him to a more neutral or potentially even good stance, depending on how long he was there and how great his influence over darkness was.
Alright. I will relay.
I will say that at your current level of power you probably can't do much influencing, but as you progress you'd eventually be able to potentially start summoning, neutral or potentially good aligned versions of shadow creatures.
Nice.
That'll have to do for now.
Alright. Also, once Emma's done with her overview, the people she's training for the marshal, Emma's gonna start recruiting bards.
Okay.
And she's specifically gonna look for 3 different kinds of bards.
Okay, if you could roll me a diplomacy check for each one.
Alright, hold on. Okay.
No, you don't have anyone with glasswork skills, I'm afraid, Kragel.
Okay. Alright, here's the first diplomacy. And again, at some point I really should put rings in there.
There's a class skill for you.
No, what did...
Oh, isn't it?
No, diplomacy is not a class skill for me.
I was thinking it was, because you got charisma as part of your base things, and because the last arcanist I dealt with was the face of the party.
Yeah, he had a feat. Alright, here we go.
Eris had an entire class archetype altered for Eris Corlin.
Yeah, and okay, that was getting regular bar. That was for the soul healers. Song healer. And oh, please say we get the magic archers. This is for the bard archer class, which is called the... Where is it? I can't find it, but it's very much someone. I'll look into it later, but it's the bards who can sing and also make magic arrows. Wow! Yeah. After this failure, Emma's gonna go to Varbat and just. No one wants to become a bard because because I can't sing for shit. You're gonna need to recruit them.
The button, you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, for some reason I was muted. Do you want me to roll for that? Do you want me to...
Yeah, if possible, if you could.
Or do I just...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just...
And
So he will go along out with Emma and look for... was it Aerosong Minstrels you were wanting to look for? Yes. Please.
Yeah, the birds, Aerosong minstrels and the
Soul healer.
Yeah, soul healers. They're great.
Okay,
Love
okay.
those bards. You see? And regular bards.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you'll be able to get a good 10 of each.
Yay! And
If you said anything then, Emma, you dropped out a bit.
oh no, I'm just going. Yeah. Emma's not a very diplomatic person.
Right.
She's very blunt.
You don't say. Right.
What's funny is, like, you tried to, like, get them in, and then Verbatim says, like, 2 words, probably, and then they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna start following that guy. And just, like, completely ignores you.
Verbatim's just like looking at him like, what are you following me for? She's the one who's gonna teach you.
They just keep ignoring.
No, Verbatim, Emma is tone deaf. She cannot teach the singing. Teach the magic bits, but the music's gonna have to come from you.
So funny.
Verbatim's looking at Emma like he just got hoodwinked.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
From soft.
With the little ducklings in tow.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, within a week, basically converted into a brothel.
I mean, who cares?
We are not here to judge. This is just kind of like, I'm not going to judge you what you do with your magic, but for the love of P, at least do it responsibly.
Yeah. He's over here just trying to tinker, and there's just guys. So what you doing? What you doing? Huh? What you doing? Just like, go away.
There's a sudden influx of maestro sorcerers.
Yes,
it's gonna be
and
perfect.
I'll
Yeah, he's
give.
gonna be getting that domain of fire real fast.
I don't blame you.
Okay, there. Just so everyone knows what the 2 bard archetypes do, I'm putting that in your chat.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I play an arrow song minstrel in one of my other campaigns,
Oh,
nice.
They're so wonderful.
combined with paladin.
Oh, that's going to be
Interesting.
brutal.
That is.
They're basically they're not quite the whatever prestige class that they have with the fireballing their arrows, but they do get the Magus ability too.
That's Arcane Archer, and yeah, Arcane Archer is actually not as good as its first sound when you get a look at it, because
Yeah.
well, it came out
Well,
before
the ability to
before
cast
Magus
gravity
did.
bow as a move action and still fire your arrows. That's good.
Actually, what was really frustrating was in another game, I was playing a bard who was archery focused before Arrow Song Minstrel was a thing. It became a thing halfway through the campaign. I was so pissed.
I can imagine.
So mad.
Yeah, the not including your allies as cover is awesome.
Yes. Okay, so we'll have 10 of those and 10 of the healing bards, which is always new.
Right. So, anything else anyone wants to do, or should I get to?
Next thing Emma's gonna do is meditate with those crystals.
Okay, so you wanted to have a look into the crystals.
Merban's gonna have 30 stakes dug into the ground.
You can't
tell
burn
us.
the recruits. You are supposed to actually be an You are supposed to actually be an influencer and someone who gets, who is supposed to be part of the founding of, the classes and all that. It's rather important.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay, so meditate and is there a chance I can take either 10 or 20 for the knowledge arcana as she's meditating?
You can take 10,
Crystals?
yes.
Alright, so that'll be 20.
Okay. So which one do you? So is it the big crystal or the small crystal you're doing, or is it both?
She's gonna do both. She's gonna do one at a time.
Okay, right. Right, so you managed. So 20, correct? Okay. So the 2 crystals each share a link, although the link is stronger with the staff. And the link is to what appears to be a sort of magic. Well, it's to a sort of magical power, almost similar to the arcane battery you created last session with the linked systems.
Okay.
And as far as you can tell, it appears to be quite a distance away, but it's basically used as a backup source of power. Or, well, in the case of the smaller crystal, it's used as a backup source, and in case it can't charge off its own use, which is the smaller crystal is designed to charge off use of the rings, the pain it inflicts, basically.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the larger one, which was used to animate all those undead soldiers, draws directly from the pool as a source of. It can be used to amplify other spells from in the hands of a natural caster, but it's more designed to act as a font to enable larger castings of spells. And if you could give me a rolled Knowledge Arcana this time, in regards to the staff.
Alright. Let's hope this works out, everybody. Alright, 1, 2, here we go. Yes.
Okay, with a 27, you do get the 2 bits. You get 2 bits of information. The first is the realization of what the first information is a bit about a combination of the location and the source of this well of power. It's equivalent to a false ley line convergence created by large amounts of sacrifices of innate arcane talent.
Oh, hell no.
It's a pool of sorcerer blood being continuously refilled, and as far as you can tell, from what you can sense, yeah, this thing's really close to Rakash, because you can sense another divine energy near to it.
Emma is immediately going to drop the staff as though it was made of hot boiling, as though the thing was composed entirely of hot boiling lava.
Yeah. Well, the other thing you twigged is, whilst this is a false ley line convergence that's been created, you also get alerted to the actual mana ley lines of the world.
Okay, that is awesome.
Yeah. But actually, if you could just roll me one last Arcana check.
Alright. But, Emma's very angry now.
Oh, well, depending on what you roll, you might be less angry in a second.
Alright, let's hope. 1, 2. Darn it! Rolled a 3.
She's even more angry.
Forgotten just happened to be tripsing by and says, roll again.
Yeah! Nice to know you're okay with Emma getting you to become a teacher, Woody. Okay. 20.
Okay, 20 is just enough to get it. Yeah, the thing is, with that direct connection to that mana source, you've got one thing you could probably do, since you've got the teleportation scroll. Using that staff as a focus with the teleportation scroll, you could probably teleport directly to where that is, as in right inside Rakash's home base.
Oh, joy of joy.
I will say, if you intend to do that, can we leave it for next session so I can prep the map?
She is not, because they don't have a way out. She's not, but...
Have a scroll.
Yeah, we're
We have
using the scroll
one.
to get there.
Oh, I thought he said he was
Yeah.
using the staff.
Well, I was going to say, you could effectively attempt to use a staff as a focus and attempt to replicate the teleport spell without using up the scroll. Wouldn't be a guaranteed thing, but unless you were to work it into sort of a ritual, but you could do it.
Yeah, but again, right now, Emma's not entirely sure if they have the... At some point, yes, this is definitely going to be a thing. But she is unsure.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah, Emma herself is unsure if she has the power to be able to match Rakash just from an arcane perspective, but she is gonna let the rest of the party know what she found. And as she talks about this to everyone, you will see Emma is physically shaking with rage upon discovering just how these crystals are powered.
try to calm Emma down and ask her, have you scryed on that staff to see if Rakash can see you through it?
Unfortunately, I am not strong enough in my arcane abilities to scry yet.
Have you tried a ritual?
Just to say from your assessment, just to say from your earlier accessing of it, it can't be used as it would require someone. It can be used as a scrying focus, but only if you've got someone. But only if someone is tied to it. Only if you've got a willing supplicant attached to it. On its own, it cannot be used for scrying.
So Rakash, being a god, can't see us through it.
That's correct. He would need one of his worshippers attached to it.
That's all I care about. Alright, cool.
Yeah.
We're good, we good. You scared me for a second there.
But when we are ready to attack Rakash, we will have a means to get past his defenses.
You said it's how it's powered is constant flow of sorcerer blood.
It almost sounds as if they're taking the individuals that show promise of magical arts to there to actually siphon their blood.
Yes.
That would basically be your best guess, yes.
How long does the blood keep its properties?
That would depend on what runes are worked into the repository. Because if it's kept fresh, it should stay that way for a good while. Because you've got a lifetime of magical potential in there.
So it's refilled every 5 hours.
The innate refill will be. They probably refill it every day, but they probably keep it. It's not actually filled every day. Just a fresh person is dropped in at least once a day, probably.
Because I don't know. Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, I got a room full of blood.
Yeah.
I will say you do not have enough to kickstart some. I will say you do not have enough blood to kickstart something like this.
Yeah, I've been taking every single day what you said was safe. And putting it inside like a jar.
You do not have enough people to get enough blood to kickstart this thing. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Enough years, enough dwarven years, and I'll have a mountain filled with my own blood.
Yeah, but how are you keeping it fresh, though?
I need to get someone who has the spell.
Okay, so currently right now, it's not staying fresh.
I will put it this way.
Oh, no.
I will put it this way, Kragel. To have the base for a ritual with this kind of power, you would need 1,000 people to be completely drained of their blood. And that's just for the base. That's not even counting what it's actually gotten up to nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, we may be able to start something smaller than this. But I'm like, if the flowing blood of this stuff is powerful, I've been draining my own blood every single day, so we might be able to do something with that.
Well, first of all, you'd only be able to take a pint once a week, so you've not got that much. I think it's either once a week or once every 3 days or something like that. You're allowed to give blood, if that.
Oh, it only lasts for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Magical healing doesn't help with blood loss?
Not to the point that you could actually get away with losing.
Yeah, just drain your entire storage, just heal me. Drain my entire storage, heal me. I don't think it works like that.
Yeah. And
I was gonna say that would be more towards restoration rather than healing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That plasma.
Go ahead, guys.
I need to get someone with lesser resto.
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
now, Emma is completely opposed to anything even remotely like this right now.
And Sue's gonna have to back her in that.
Yeah, it's not what you would call a good thing to be dealing with.
Yeah, this is this is slaves with magical ability being killed and siphoned for their.
Yeah.
This is no bueno.
Understatement, but yeah. So, there is... Okay, so from your research, there's a couple... So, you also know that there is at least one ley line point nearby that you could potentially make use of.
When?
Sorry, did you say where?
Yeah, yes, I said where.
It's within your territory. It's sort of to the north of the mountains where you're normally resting. Another tributary of the river you've been working with.
Sweet. Emma is going to ask who wants to go into an excursion to this place because magical ley line, hell yeah.
I'm not missing out on this.
Verboten to go.
I'll go with a jar of blood.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just be a second, folks. Just gotta make sure I've got everything
Ron
prepped.
wants to go.
Kitty's roleplay with the.
Rongo, if you put that jar of blood anywhere on a ley line, I'm cutting your hand.
And if he does it, Emma's gonna make it so he can never enter the base ever again.
Hold up, guys. Hold up. I mean, probably see what it does. And just jump on him. I mean, it's his own blood.
I know.
I don't
but
care. I'm not really gonna risk corrupting a natural ley line.
Okay. Anybody with blood should not be on this. Got
Nix will stay behind and just kind of keep tabs on things at the base or whatever.
And one thing I will say is Emma's probably going to be bringing all of her students like, okay, well, we got an excursion.
Field trip!
That's pretty much what it is.
Verboten turns around. No, I told you to stay home. Damn farmers don't listen to anybody. Factual.
Little pot on kettle.
Shut it. I actually like this RP from Furbat.
Yeah.
Nix is gonna stay home, and while she's overseeing things, she's also gonna train some more hunters and rangers in general.
Oh, actually, do you think Nix could start getting a bunch of ravens and owls so we can
Yeah,
back
she can
more?
kind of start trying to draw them in and everything.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have so. And for those of you watching, we've already picked the spells, but we're not telling you until we do this, because it'll be amazing.
Oh yeah, by the way, the depressed people I'm turning into, trying to turn into Inquisitors.
Yeah, right, I said, right, yes. Sorry, I forgot. Right, as I say, we'll leave that for talk about it later. I'm fine with. I just need to refresh my memory on it before I can say any more. But yeah, if you want to train up some Inquisitors, that's not a problem. Just the phrasing of it had me worried that it was going to be one of your moments.
Oh no! I was like giving people purpose, you know.
Yeah, that's not making me any less twitchy about it with you.
just making some living grimoires. They're an archetype of the
What?
Inquisitor.
Living grimoire. They're they're a decent enough sort of archetype.
I was gonna give him like basically my like holy book, and they're gonna beat people up with the holy book.
You already have a holy book?
My character has been writing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm writing one too, so.
Let's see a second.
Basically, like every week, I have to be like, okay, give me those holy books. I have to rewrite them.
Yeah, I was more concerned about making sure that all the knowledge in her head is bound in book form and shared with everybody. It will actually be pretty amazing when she finally gets around. She's like, she'll just look at all the other books and just go, you know, I need to make more books. And then concentrate on other books until people finally put it in her head. She'll just go, we're doing it. We're making other books. That is and that is part of my holy book. Be happy.
That's
Every book that holds knowledge is technically your holy book.
Yeah.
Yes, but you do actually need to have a holy text at some point. It is rather useful.
Yeah, but I can guarantee you it'll probably end up being one of the first clerics she gets who's finally going to write it, because Emma's just going to... We have other more important books to write. Or Quoth will end up writing it.
What, you mean once he's...
Yeah, once he's a hero.
I'm honestly waiting for that golem printing.
Oh boy.
Oh, trust me, that's eventually going to be... the printing press will eventually be fully automated.
Okay, so we'll be heading off in just a second. I've just got to finish up with the... Because I wasn't sure where you guys were going to end up going this session.
We found magical ley lines. MSCD is like, okay, we gotta go now. Everyone, out the door, out the door, out the door.
Okay, right. Just let me make sure I've got this cleared up. Hope everyone's enjoying the nonsense so far. So I'm going to bring you guys over just a second. If someone could make me a quick... If either Nyx is staying, isn't she? So
Yep.
Yeah.
so Arisk, if you could make, or anyone with a survival, if you could make me a check.
What?
A
Survival.
survival check.
I don't have survival.
Okay, or knowledge geography.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Emma does, and... Is it a courthouse survive? Alright,
Well, there you go.
yeah, you got it.
Yeah, okay, right, so I'll bring your tokens over from... Let's see, where was the last time you had tokens that were actually viable?
This is why I say, Chris, get them there on page.
Yeah, I just don't... Yeah, I probably will do from now on. But if you guys just bring them over in a second, and then I'll... If you don't mind bringing them out, and then I'll...
I'll give quotes. Will kind of keep an eye out for everyone circling above. Still,
And of course, this is when Roll20 decides it wants to lag on me. If I end up bursting a blood vessel, at least I'll know why.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Of course, the one time we need.
Bears!
But wait.
Where's our animal
this is
empathy?
our
Oh, right.
remember, all the animals that drink from the river in our territory are not openly aggressive as long as we don't do anything stupid.
It depends on their intelligence. For all I know, these are. They may be intelligent enough.
And hey, who knows? This may be, like, if we're on the Leyland right now, it may be interfering with all.
Maybe. And also, everyone, you all get to see the new token that I drew.
You showed it to us last week. You showed us to it already.
You guys, but I don't think I posted it in the...
No, you didn't show it in general chat, so I'll just bring it up for people in them, for people at home, so they can have a quick look.
Where are we coming in from? The path there?
Yeah, well, that's a river, actually, not a path, but yeah, you can come in from where you've basically put your tokens.
Sounds good.
Okay, and...
Yeah, that's a couple of grizzly bears down there drinking at the pool.
Sweet.
Okay.
If only Rama was here, I'd love to see a thumb wrestling contest. Oh, wait.
And right now it's just go. Damn it. We should have brought. A, do they notice us? And B, if they do they look are they looking at us like we are going to be something to kill?
I'm just going to be checking that. So I'll roll in a group perception check, and then and then one other thing I'll need to roll, and then I'll take care of it. So let's see.
Alright.
So first, group perception. So they definitely spotted you.
Except for our button.
Yes.
And
But they are acting passive.
whew.
How the hell does Bravado have a plus 17 to stealth?
He's small.
Yeah, but that can only do so much. I'm sitting on a plus 12 and I haven't maxed out. Plus my bonus.
So, are we gonna, like, walk around these things, or are we gonna
Well, they're not being hostile. Let's just walk around them.
just high-five them, in case we go by?
Yeah, let's do it.
That might be pushing it.
Hey Chris, can I roll my nature and survival real quick for training? And
Yeah.
You just tell me real quick.
Sure.
Okay. Oops. Wow, those are good.
Yep. Add yourself 12 for the first roll and 15 for the second.
Okay, and I'll split those up.
Yeah.
Nature is ranger, right?
Yeah, nature is ranger, survival is slayers. Correctly.
Local was for hunters, usually. I mean, local was for slayers when I was, at least when I was doing it.
Yeah, sorry, I think survival should be ranger and nature should be hunters, that's it. Yeah, so you've got 12 hunters and 15 rangers. Sorry. So, as far as you can tell, this here seems to be the center of the ley line point.
Okay.
And what are the bears doing?
At the moment, they're just drinking.
Fine.
Emma will.
I'm
Emma
guessing
and Court
they're
will
a mated pair.
carefully walk.
Most likely, yes.
As everyone goes walking forward.
Yeah, and also.
Rabad's like, just give them a few minutes, they might just wander off.
Quick
Not
heads up.
hostile. I'm not gonna do anything to them.
Emma also brought all her students to at least know where this ley line was.
Okay.
They're probably going to be hanging back, like, bear.
Oh, get out of the water. I'm gonna drink.
Yeah. Emma's just gonna be right at the shore
Okay.
and just kind of wait. How deep's the water? Could she wade out?
Yes, you could.
middle,
Yeah,
where
you could
the
probably.
ley
Yeah,
line-
you could wade out, and the bears are going to be backing off.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah. Emma's just gonna go right towards the center. How deep's the water? Is it up to her ankles, her waist?
It'd probably be close to your shoulders.
Okay, well, close is gonna be on the shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. And Emma's just going to take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and stretch out her consciousness with this ley line.
Okay. Give me a knowledge arcane. Actually, if you just make a concentration check.
Concentration check?
Yeah.
Okay. 18.
Okay. That's enough. And okay, so the water the water does begin glowing blue, and you do begin to feel a stymied connection with the land. You sense where the mana wants to flow.
Where it once flowed or where it does flow?
Where it wants to flow and where it once flowed. It's not flowing at the moment. It seems congested by. You can sense sort of a familiar sense of sort of a red blockade near towards the southern part of the continent.
That dick.
Effectively, yes. Although he might not even be aware of it, but he is effectively, with his false ley line convergence, blocking the flow of mana, at least on this continent.
Okay. Can Emma see if she can at least unblock it a little? Or redirect it?
You'd be more likely to unblock it slightly than you would be to redirect it. Redirecting it would be a lot more effort.
Alright.
Because to redirect it would be to try and readjust all the ley lines on the planet.
Okay. Alright. What would be the best way to unclog it?
Give me a knowledge arcana check.
Alright.
Verboten's going to sit on the top of the little hillock that he's on. He's going to take out a lyre and begin singing and inspire confidence in Emma.
Okay.
Sweet.
I will swim down
It's a
and
plus, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's a plus 1 to this roll.
I'll swim down and attempt to aid Emma.
Okay.
13. Stupid twos! Why am I getting so many twos?
And I'll go ahead and use my domain and let her re-roll that.
Thank you. Cause darn it, if we can unblock this thing, we're unblocking this thing. Alright, 20.
Okay. Right. So you're able to basically find the cracks in the blockade, allowing the mana to begin circulating more naturally. You haven't destroyed the blockade because you don't think that's possible until such a time as you can actually, get to the palace. But you've at least got an actual mana flow going throughout the continent now.
Sweet.
Shards is +2, not +1. My bad.
Oh, so that would have been 21. Sweet. And does any of the ley line go toward their base?
Yeah, part of well, yes, because obviously there would have been one that's, as this is a point in it, it will effectively sync up with the drive that's been with the flow of mana going throughout your base anyway, and probably boost it slightly.
Can I see whatever Cardinal's about to do?
Make a perception check. Kroggle, what are you trying to do?
Well, if it's clogged, I try and purify it.
We just went over why we couldn't do that.
Why we couldn't just purify it?
Why we couldn't just unclock it.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, I'm just trying to focus the divine energy of purity into it. We'll see if that'll...
Kroggle, I'll say this. Right now, you would not have any effect. For you to do something like that, you would need a full ritual circle.
Okay. I tell Emma I want to try this.
If you want to make a quick knowledge arcane check.
Because Emma students are all there, we could do a magical ritual.
Yeah, do a knowledge arcane check to find out what this would do.
Okay.
Really hope this isn't salt water.
Alright. It is fresh water.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, Verbatim would have enough to know that, no, this would not be a good idea.
Darn.
Basically, what you would be doing is attuning the ley line to blood magic, which would mean the ley line would begin strengthening Rakash's magic.
Wait, blood magic? Why would the protection domain give blood magic?
Yeah, you weren't at all thinking of using that little vial of blood. Not at all.
No, I wasn't. I was actually planning on just using purity. Adding blood to it would be against purity.
Sorry, was assuming that was what you were doing because, well, that is your usual shtick.
No. Purity needs pure stuff. Blood is not pure. It's full of, like, diseases and stuff.
Okay. I will say that whilst the protection domain might be useful at a later date, at the moment it would not be beneficial because you would need to have done that before they attempted to create the blockade rather than now. Because it's not actually corrupting, it's just basically creating a blockade, potentially unintentionally.
So since this is a blockade here, it's the perfect place to study.
Yeah, Emma,
Right.
coming out of the water.
I'm just gonna have to step away for a second, guys.
Alright. I will say this right now for everyone else who can let Chris know later. Emma's coming out, she's soaking wet, and is just like getting all her students to start taking out pencils and notebooks and start studying the ley line. Like, we got this.
Okay, back. Sorry, it was just someone needs to talk to me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All you missed is Emma's just having her students study the light line.
Yeah, she's having a nerdgasm, and it's just like, we gotta study this. Everyone, get out your notebooks and pencil. And I'm very certain that what is that little Capo is probably very, very bored right now.
Almost certainly.
Until she says that there's a possibility this could make their magic more powerful, and so they could make bigger explosions.
Right.
But yeah, Emma's also thinking about making a research outpost out here.
Fair enough.
point, she'll notice that she's still stocking wet, and then we'll press the digitation. Her clothes dry.
Right, yeah. Okay, so this is only a few hours out from, well, less than a full day's march away from from your base. So, is there anything else you want to take care of here, or do you want to head back?
Are there any materials around this area that I haven't seen before?
Give me a perception check, or and see what you can find. Okay, you're able to find a few different. You're able to find a few different types of stone that could be of use. And is there anything in particular you're looking for in regards to materials, or?
Oh, like I'm searching mainly around the ley line area to see if there's anything that reacts to it fairly well.
Okay.
I probably have the best holding breath here.
Okay, just give me a second. I just need to double check my notes, but I think there's probably at least one thing. Yes.
Yeah, Quill's gonna be flying around. See if there's anything strange.
And Verboten just walks around on the bottom.
Okay, I lied. He has the best holding breath here.
I don't even hold my breath.
Exactly. You're cheating.
That'll be 30 for Quill. To find anything interesting around this area.
Okay.
Verboten's looking for geodes.
You're just down there, you're actually smoking a cigar underwater.
The Futurama clip. That don't make no sense.
Okay, right. Okay, so okay, one of the things you would find, that Quoth would probably find, is yeah, okay. Okay, so the thing that Quoth would find, we'll go with first, because is something shiny in one of the trees nearby. Unsurprisingly, being a raven.
Yep. He'll fly over to it.
Okay, it's you found what appears to be metal poking through the bark of one of the trees.
Quoth will start cry and scream, "Metal! Metal!"
Yep.
To alert the rest of the party. And we'll go over, notice it, and detect magic on the tree.
Okay. There isn't magic as such. What you found is, well, actually, I think it technically is, but it's a bit of an odd one. Is you found a source of living steel.
Nice.
A living what?
Living.
Oh.
Yeah, it's some trees suck up potent minerals through their roots, and basically manifest steel as part of their natural growth process. And basically the living steel can actually repair itself as well, so
Nice.
It's amazing. It's like a castle wall.
Right.
yeah, you've probably not got enough for that. But
We could take a shoot from the tree and grow our own topiary.
yes, and it'd probably work because it normally yes, and it should work as well. But just to say, Kragel, what you find is a chunk of a grey chunk of What you at first think appears to be stone, but actually turns out to be metal. You found what appears to be a naturally occurring vein of coal iron.
Oh, nice.
Now, getting it out is going to be a bit of a problem, but
Yeah, because there's no miners in the group.
I was more meaning the fact that it goes through a riverbed sort of thing, and you don't want to do too much to risk disrupting the ecosystem around the ley line. You could still probably find a few chunks lying about and all that. The chunk you've got is probably about half an ingot.
Cool. Half an ingot.
And you could probably try and track it to find a more land-based and less crucial point to mine it from.
Cool, I can make a fork with this.
Half an ingot's
Would it
quite
be
a bit,
knowledge
dude.
nature? Would it
What
be
was that,
knowledge?
Emma?
Would it be knowledge nature to try and get a sprig of the tree?
Either knowledge nature or survival.
Alright, can Emma take 10 on to carefully get a nice sprig, because then it'll be 20.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
And you've probably got a little over 6 kilograms there, dude, of metal.
Are you saying I have too much metal to make a fork?
I'm saying that a fork is, potentially not the best use of it.
I was just saying there was potential to make a fork out of this.
Oh, I meant to ask, Crit,
Yeah.
is it possible that Emma can attune the staff to this ley line as opposed to the one with Rakash with her students as a ritual?
You could, but at the same time, it would potentially. There are two things. One, it would potentially be more draining, and two, it would lose you your in to past Rakash's defenses.
Okay. But that is a possibility to do once we've done it.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, and was the 20 enough for Emma to get a nice...
Yeah, you'd be able to get a cutting, yes.
Alright. Emma just smiles and goes, Nyx is gonna be very sad she missed out on this tree.
Any geodes down here?
No. Yeah, you'd be able to find probably one.
That works.
Alright, let's get back out and maybe get some panners and some of the more naturey people to start collecting stuff for me this point.
Okay.
Yes, and we also need to plan a not too invasive research area out.
That's part of it, yes.
And as soon as we get back, Emma is just going to give the cutting to Nyx and just go, present!
She'll look at the cutting and be like really confused and like, what is it exactly?
Metal tree.
Living steel.
I see. I'll have some of my people figure out a good place to put this then.
Yeah, we're gonna get some people together as part. We also found a vein of cold iron, so we're probably gonna get some panners, some people for the tree, collect pieces of the tree without killing it. Just start burying stuff from a spot back and forth.
Plus there's bears.
Alright, well, I'll work up a list of my own people to send that can help with as far as finding a good spot to set up the small base for you guys to do your research and everything, as well as help with finding other stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Rose, do you want to try and find do the Raven bit now, or do you want Raven Owl bit now, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, we can, unless Chris has something else.
No, I'm fine with you doing that.
Alright, so... Yeah, she'll have, gathered or drawn in some ravens and owls first while they were gone. What would I need to... What do you want
Animal handling for that, please.
Okay, handle animal. So let's say that's for the ravens and oh wow, owls. Jeez.
Her buttons popped along. Goes roll again.
That's better for
Okay.
the owls.
Yeah.
Maybe at least 1 or 2 out.
Yeah, I'd say you've probably got a half dozen owls. And probably close to sort of 15 ravens.
Okay, that should give us a good start.
Yep.
We can get more later on.
Yeah, and I'm pretty certain that once we have created a whole new species of raven and owl, they will probably also be able to help boost their numbers on their own.
Yeah.
Yes, once you've created your own magical creature subspecies.
Alright.
So it'll be a knowledge arcane and knowledge nature, folks, respectively.
Alright, and Emma will have her students come and help. She'll ask next, do you have anyone you want to have, of your people you want to have help with this?
You have mine.
Yeah, Nyx brings some of her own people with her to help
Alright.
out.
Yeah, Emma will have 6 of her casters. So 6 casters and 6 hunters?
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, darn it, I want this to succeed.
Okay, so
These animals are gonna be awesome.
Alright, so
Alright,
make sure...
and we already listed our...
yeah, I'm just gonna go and double check those.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably do the ravens first and then...
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Let's get this started. This is gonna be fun. Alright. Okay, so knowledge, arcana with Emma and her people.
Okay. Alright. Yeah,
That's for the ravens.
that's a solid lock then. Any physical changes you want to make, Nyx, considering you've got more than enough oomph?
Definitely probably trying to make them a little bit, not a whole lot bigger, but like one size category bigger. Like, what are they usually, small or tiny?
Tiny, so you'd be taking them up from small.
Okay, so give them that category, and then, gosh, I don't know. What do you think, Emma?
I was going to say, I'm guessing they're probably going to so let's see, these get detect magic, message, chill touch, carrying compass, and planar orientation.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what other physical.
Well, you could probably give them a more bluish coloration to go with the ice element thing that you've got going.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe.
Bluish tint to the wings.
Yeah,
Just
that would be good.
A very light blue tint.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. And maybe their eyes change color too, do you think? Like more of a dark bluish? Or
Ice blue sounds cool.
ice blue? Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to do too much physical changes, but I think that should be pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the only other question is what type of owl you've brought in and all that. Actually, just let me double check whether we've got any multiple types of owl listed on the archives in Nethys, because
I don't know what owl. Yeah, I know there's like. Yeah.
Well, the only one that's listed is the great horned owl.
Okay.
That'll actually be kind of cool. Great horned owls that can do these spells. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So let me just double check their base stats before we go any further, because I'm not sure if they're not, because I think they might be as small as base, so I don't know if you want them to going up to medium or. I think that might be a bit far, but yeah, they're small as base, so I'm guessing you'd rather apply the advanced template rather than.
Yeah.
Because you want these guys as messengers, not as attack mounts.
No.
No. And as back and as emergency heal.
Alright, so if you could just do another quick knowledge arcane and knowledge nature
Alright, let's
for
do
the owls.
Yes. It's 22.
Ah.
Well, remember you still got your +6 from your ranges, so that takes it up to a 20, so you've got.
Okay.
So those ones are getting Cure Light Wounds, Windy Escape, Read Magic, Message, and Colour Spray.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing we're probably looking at something close to a almost an albino white great horned owl or something.
Yeah,
guess,
but
yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
with
probably.
that
Sorry.
with eyes that seem to continually change color.
Okay.
They're never the same color unless
Like,
when you look.
I would see them as more like maybe like a mix of gray and white.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's sort of.
Or actually, that I like. Yeah, I like that picture.
Yeah. So just stick to their natural colours.
Yeah, yeah, the natural color will be fine, but their eyes definitely the changing colors or. Yeah.
The great horned owl, never a welcome sight to be seen up close and personal. Well, not unless it's intentional, anyway. Yeesh. Remember when one of those things got loose from a local bird protection area when I was on holiday once, and we ended up getting a bit more up close and personal than I intended with the thing. Just stepping out the door and like, whoop.
They're wild where I'm from, and actually a few weeks ago, I was painting a fence at my work, and then random great horned owl just 2 inches away from my head flying by.
Ooh, there's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Actually, I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get a better look at it. I was like, holy shit, yes! And
Yeah.
wait, where'd you go?
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome, but you've got to admit, it would be kind of terrifying, depending on how much you're expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bizarre, just all of a sudden feathers in my
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's like a friend of my dad's recently was in the US and he was in California and he was and he was out on a mountain walk with a friend of his who does it as a more regular thing. And apparently they were about leaping distance away from a mountain lion. And he didn't even note it.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, you gotta be careful about those mountain lions.
Yeah, but the one who was more experienced with it went, well, yeah, but don't you keep an eye out for that sort of thing? And it's like, no, we don't have them in the UK. We are devoid of apex predators.
Yeah, you moved them all to Australia.
Well, either that or we hunted them for lunch.
Okay, so what? All right, so we got our bird.
Yes.
Yep. And they
Oh.
can talk.
Yes. Well, my only thought is, dear God. Yeah, well, with the message at least, anyway, and yeah. They're not fully awakened, but they can probably mirror the trick of a raven. Actually, you can probably get them up to
Okay.
sort of raven familiar level of speech and all that, but yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, but one day, it'll be glorious.
Yes, just what the local mouse population needs. Owls capable of using colour spray.
Not just mice, rabbits too, because they go for rabbits also,
Yeah.
don't they?
And tiny dogs.
Oh dear.
How many delvers do we have?
I have, and they're actually deep walkers, but I have 10 deep walkers now.
Do you mind if I borrow some?
No.
Okay, because I just plan on gathering some ammunition.
That's fine. I mean, they'll have at least put in physical lights, kind of along the way, up until the point where they've gone the farthest in the caves and everything.
Okay.
So
Have they seen any oozes yet?
not as far as I know.
No, they've reported it back, and they've mainly been exploring the existing mine. If you want to go
Yeah.
into the actual sort of what would be considered the wild Underdark, you can do.
They probably will eventually, but not yet. They're still kind of trying to make sure, mainly sticking to the mine tunnels and everything, and just exploring a little further into those.
Yeah.
To make sure everything's clear.
Well,
But
since we've
so far, anyone who wants to, they can start mining and stuff in the areas that have been cleared.
So you're trying to trap a set of oozes, are you?
yeah, I'm trying to get oozes.
Okay, yeah, you'd have to build some traps, but you can probably set something up to lure those in.
Okay, I'll be using the Delver's knowledge of the area. Basically, we know that there's no oozes here, so I'm going to put traps on the outer edges and stuff.
Okay.
Erin, taking that vial of water that she took from the ley line spring area,
Okay.
wants to compare it to the water that we have at our base and see if there's any immediate differences.
Okay.
It's
There's no immediate effects to it. I drank some of it.
yeah, but I want to see if, let's say, even being proximity based, that it was closer to the ley line, if it even a slight tinge of more potential power in it. I just want to know.
Okay.
You want alchemy, right?
Yeah, that would be alchemy.
Okay.
Okay. There's a there's basically a percentile chance that there's a sort of a 10% chance if you use water from the ley line that it'll boost the effective caster level of potions you create with it, but that's the only immediate effect that you can find.
Perfect. That's all I wanted to know. Guess who's creating healing potions?
Emma?
Yeah.
No, I think that was really...
Yes.
It's definitely me.
Yeah.
But alright, cool. That's all I need. Anybody else can go.
Yeah, and
I want to get with Kroggle for a animal and war ritual.
Okay, so what are you looking to do?
Hang on one second, I look for the... I think it was, we wanted to... Oh, here it is. I want to bring in, get some tigers to create my own band of war tigers.
Oh boy.
so you want an army of Ramas?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll need to spend some time doing some to get some summon nature's ally off, using probably a ritual for that in and of itself to get, because at the moment obviously Rama's not from around here.
Yeah, that's fine. And then, but also, what was it?
I think you mentioned something about enhancing the Ram cavalry's mounts.
Yeah, and where'd it go?
We have gone through quite a bit recently in chat.
There it is. Okay, I found it. Yeah, enhancing the mounts for his people, the rams and the. Didn't he say he had some wolves too already?
Yeah, wolf riders.
Yeah, his wolf riders, and then also, if he wants, I can still get him some bears too.
Well, I was just saying there are bears. So
Okay.
you can grab them.
Okay. Well, then the tigers, the rams, and the wolves of his mounts.
Okay,
Or
right.
whatever.
Just be a second and then I'll be ready to rock and roll with that.
Okay.
You know, if we get some lions, bears, and tigers, we could.
How did I not see that coming from Groggle?
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my!
Exactly.
Well, at least it didn't involve a George Takei impression, so we're doing slightly better than I was expecting.
I mean, we
Hey,
can turn this
it
place
took
into
a
the Jungle
lot
Book
of
if we really want.
It took a lot of effort for me not to do the George Takei. Mostly
Can we get-
because my dog would mostly because my dog would bark at me. It's like,
Can we get freaking King Louie in here? I love.
No, we are not
Which
getting
one?
the jazz routine orangutan.
The one from the live action film, the Giants one.
that's Christopher Walken.
Yeah. He was great.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one of those two is worse. Not sure which one of those is a more terrifying idea. Which says a lot for you guys. You've actually managed to get me questioning which one of your ideas is worse.
Again, just wait until the army of rape is awakened.
Mm.
That'll be hilarious.
Alright, for some reason one of the files I've been trying to upload isn't working. So we'll get on to the actual rituals then. So, next if you want to start with your... summoning ritual first, and then we'll move on to the other combined rituals.
Okay, what do you want me to roll for this summoning?
Give me a knowledge, nature, and a handle animal check, and we'll apply the bonuses from your hunters onto each of them.
Alright. Ooh. Oh, hell yeah.
All right then. Oh, God. Yeah, we're looking at a solid, including Rama, you've got a solid 20 tigers.
We have army of kids.
Have fun feeding them and cleaning up after them.
Well, that's why you have them hunt.
See, if we actually have the slimes, we can treat them like Roombas.
Oh God.
And that is how you end up with slime with slime dungeons, and that is just bad. Or you end up with some monstrous intelligent slime running the place. Or would that just be Kraggle?
Probably.
Again, I am so curious on what this place is gonna be like when we finally leave it.
It's going to have many centuries readjusting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would imagine at least that we'd be taking most, if not all, of the strange creatures with us to our domains.
Well, if not, then this place is going to have to get used to the idea of the local mountain tiger as an actual natural predator.
Yeah.
Well, I can safely say Emma is gonna be taking all the.
Oh yes, because Emma isn't at all intending on leaving behind sets of these magical ravens, not at all.
Oh yeah.
A set? No, a whole little city possibly, but she's gonna take some with her.
Hey, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
What would be that one ritual opposed to you? The blood ritual?
Hold
For
on,
the animal?
I'll need to double check my notes. I need to double check the messages you sent me about it, because...
Oh, I'll just tell you right now. It's a regression.
Oh, trying to summon Megafauna, basically.
Yeah.
Well, you've already got effect. What are you trying to do with that? With the wolves, or?
Yeah, I think it was a wolf that I was trying that on.
Yeah.
Not one of the shadow wolves, or one of like the regular wolves.
The timbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timbers.
That'd have to be a separate thing, and yes, you can do it if you want to try. It would have to be with the. It'd have to be another one into this set of rituals, but yeah. And after that, just say, after we've got these rituals out of the way, just say, guys, if you want to have a raid, there is a... Whilst for some reason the actual encounter map isn't there, I'd be able to do the farming... You've got the position of the farming community that you could go and raid if you wanted to.
Liberate!
Also, since we don't have like a army staring down at us at every moment, we'd actually delve these tunnels a bit, see what's under it.
Make sure there are no barrel rods under our.
Okay, yeah, if you want...
We find out underneath the dwarves' fortress is actually freaking what's that thing? Rovagug? No.
Yeah, that is the actual monster from... Well, Rovagug is the buried god in Pathfinder.
Yeah, what's the beast? Yeah, the rough beast. There's a rough beast right underneath.
Well, yeah, if you want to go underground as well, you can do so.
Well, if we can go and liberate all the slaves from the farming camp, let's go do that so we'll have more people.
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll...
I gotta finish this ritual first.
Okay, so for the 3 rituals, if you could give me 3 rolls of knowledge nature and 3 knowledge dungeoneering.
I'll join in on the dungeoneering ones to help, or at least aid whoever's rolling.
Okay.
Oh, to help with dungeoneering too.
Oh, Kraggle, you're the one... Oh no, that's Verbatin, isn't it?
Oh, I'm doing it? Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. I'll do the dungeon.
I'll
Wait.
aid as well.
This is for the War Tigers?
Well, we're rolling War Tigers, the upgraded Rams, and the upgraded Wolves.
Okay.
Question: what are the status on our siege weaponry? How are their repairs going?
They're pretty much up and running.
Yeah.
Well, one easier.
Okay, so yeah, you've got a group of you've got a group of advanced tigers that are now all strutting around with sort of not quite Rama's stats, but damn close. Group of advanced battle rams. And small question, Kragel, when it came to your Wolf Riders mounts, what did you want them upgrading with? Did you want them going giant, or did you just want them going advanced? Kragel?
Like, think. Yeah, sure, why not? Giant them. They're meant for tripping anyway.
Okay.
The bigger they are, the more they can take.
So they can now actually carry normal sized riders as well as small ones, or have two of the small riders at once and have someone carrying something, someone steering them and someone attacking with a whip.
Okay, we got 2 whips on the back of each wolf now. No.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Right. So, you guys were going to check out the farm next, and then. But Aris, did you have anything you wanted to do before that, or?
Unless you want to wait to tell me like if our scouting found anything else, then otherwise.
That was the main thing they spotted. I mean, there might be a couple. Those are the main things I've got on my notes. There might be a couple of things I've missed because I'm scrambling about a bit, but those are the main things.
Yeah, then let's go do the farm then.
The farm is enemy held.
I know,
Woods,
it's
right?
slave camp.
Yeah.
No, I know. I just wanted to make sure that it is what. Okay, I just want.
Yeah.
I don't want to be attacking a farm that is not.
No, it's a slave camp basically.
Okay.
Is it inside of our territory?
Just on the border. But so long as you don't use any actual divine ability, so long as you don't get caught using any of your divine abilities, as in, doing anything that would actually alert him, like, messing about with the souls of the dead, you should be fine.
Yeah, and quick question, Chris?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Emma's arcane Eldritch Scoundrel ready to, or does he still need a little bit more?
They'll still need a bit more training. But you should be able to. I was going to say, I'll bring up stuff like that at the end of the session and give you a bit more info.
Alright, then if we're doing that, then Eric's is going to take his best scouts, mount up on the wolves, and basically be outriders for the party as we head out.
Okay.
Close will be flying with.
It's looking a bit out of context, alright. Why is it looking like that? But, okay.
And, hold on, what time of day is this?
By the time you get there, it can be. That can depend on you when you want it to arrive and all that.
Well, I'll close flying. He'll try and do stealthily. Stealth roll.
I'd say.
Roll to 3. And, perception 25.
I'd say let's wait until night. Let's make sure we get our siege weaponry up on the up by that waterfall.
Oh wait, so you all want to take your siege weapons with you?
You sure you want to take the siege weapons? Because I'll probably alert.
Yeah, I don't think we should.
Longer too.
Yeah, that changes it from a couple of days out to a couple of weeks out.
Yeah.
Alright, never mind.
And plus, I think the highest cliff would be over here.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
But yeah, so those are the rolls. Quotes roll. Because I am fairly certain Rakash of all his servants, if you see a raven, kill it.
There may have been something to that effect going about, yes.
Since you have enough ravens.
Actually, Quoth is gonna go with us with 2 other ravens, so it'll be a group of ravens, not just a single raven, a group of ravens.
We could just airdrop into places with enough ravens.
There are only like 15 ravens?
16 with
Yeah,
Quoth.
and they're only small.
Yeah.
And a bunch of owls.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I only have a half dozen owls.
Yeah. And the
I'm
owls
just-
are more for, again, these animals are more for scouting, able to message people, and in case the owl, someone needs to get healed really quick, get an owl out there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if we have enough ravens or owls, we can just, like, attach them to us and drop down.
They're nowhere near big
They're-
enough.
Yeah, they're nowhere near strong enough to carry someone.
It's a joke. I think is what he's getting at.
No, because there are great ravens, and you can ride on them. Those things are awesome.
But yeah, so Nick
Okay.
would have taken probably 2 or 3 other tigers with her besides Rama.
Okay.
And then let's see. Yeah, that would be it.
Actually, Quoth would not be looking like a raven. He would have cast disguise self on himself and looked like a pigeon.
Fair enough.
So they don't see a raven, they see a pigeon.
Alright, well, since we're not bringing siege weaponry, once we get up there, I'm going to get up on the cliff with my scouts. We're basically going to hunker down and basically just start watching the place, get a feel for how many people, how many soldiers are there, how many slaves, what are the main buildings.
Okay, I'll go over that in just a second.
No problem. Over bottom, I hope you brought the blasting gel.
Yeah.
I got blasting gel. Why?
Well, it's more his thing.
We will need it.
Blasting gel, deck cord, thermite.
Alright, well, let's find those barracks.
Yep. Find the barracks, and unfortunately, given how we gotta make sure Rakash doesn't hear about it, we are gonna have to kill them all. At least all the ones that aren't slaves.
Okay, right. So, small hiccup with that.
There's a buttload of them.
Well, it's not that so much as the fact that there are, as the barracks have been split up.
Was this a recent thing or not recent?
It looks like it, considering most of the barracks don't look alike.
No, I mean, is this something that happened because of what happened with our base, or?
Most likely, yes.
It's nice to know we made an impression.
Okay, you've got a few peoples here. You've got a few of them here. A few here. Here. And here. With
Right?
the majority of the slaves being housed here. In the big square building. Do you need that marking again, or?
Please mark it again. Just, oh wait, I see it. It's in the green. The green just hard.
Yeah, sorry. I'm bad at drawing.
And as a Quoth with a 25, notice anything important besides where those buildings.
You notice that they do have what appears to be a stable as part of this building here. But rather than holding actual horses, it appears to hold a pair of ogres.
Well, that's where most of the blasting gel is going to be going anyway.
From what you can get, from the way that from what Quoth could notice, you'd guess that they're probably used for for pulling the front of a wagon train normally.
Do they look scarred up?
Not particularly. I mean, they've got some calluses on their shoulders from where something would have been hooked up, from where they'd have been wearing something equivalent to a rig for a wagon, but
Alright, so these are not part of the ogres who attacked us, who got.
Well, no, I was thinking like they're not being treated as slaves, basically.
well, they are to a point. It's just less so than the normally sized things, because they probably do have collars, although it's hard to tell from the angle you're. They probably will have collars when they're not. In fact, yes, they do have collars on, but they're probably treated better because, well, they're ogres.
Yeah.
One of those things goes on a riot, you're gonna notice.
Quoth is gonna do another pass to try and see if he can see anybody with the main control rod.
Well, I was gonna say it was mainly the rings, if you remember, and the stone was kept in the overseer's office.
Alright, then Quoth is just gonna look for anyone who looks really important. People we may have to deal with. 23.
Okay. You'd see someone similar to the commander from last time.
Okay.
Except this time he's wearing a blue cloak.
Guys, I just had a really kind of messed up idea. If Emma is able to figure out how to uncollar the oak,
Oh dear.
we could let them loose and just have them do a rampage.
The slaves will get in the mixture if we don't evacuate them first.
That's what I mean. Evacuate the slaves, but then release the ogres as a distraction.
Plus, that may ruin the farmland of the area.
Not a lot's going to matter. Last I checked, they were going back with you.
Yeah, they're going back with us. We're here for seed and peoples.
Oh yeah, but if we... And as many crops as we can take, too.
Yeah, but again, if we take over this farmland and patrol will come, we'll get in trouble. But if it looks like an ogre rampage and destroy this place, then we won't get blamed at all.
Yeah, but it's going to bring up questions the moment they notice there's surprisingly no slave bodies present.
Possibly, but if we also kill all the bosses, they could just think that the ogres got out and then the slaves took the opportunity to kill them. Because if you could escape with a bunch of ogres and make a rampage, you would.
Is this farmland just inside our line or just outside our line?
Outside.
Yeah, just outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to salt the land afterwards?
No, because then they'll figure out that this is probably a raid based on. So the more we can make this look like something natural happening, the
Okay, so
actually, is there another grain silo around here?
yeah, whilst there won't be grain silos, there will be effectively, storage barns and all that sort of thing.
But it
No.
I think Chris is preparing for attack this people, so we're gonna have to adapt.
It's more in the case of whilst they do grow grain, they more rather than storing up for themselves, they either have it in. They're probably already bagging it up for transport.
Where are the like the packing mules and stuff like that?
I say it's cheaply. The wagon trains are. It's
Give me
more.
a second, folks. I'll be right back.
There's a sort of another stable block just here. Hang on, I'll put the stable block in sort of pale purple, but yeah, that's the stable block just there, and that's got a few oxen in. But the chief, the wagon trains are chiefly pulled by the ogres because that way you've got a combination of defense against raiders and greater pulling power all in one.
Okay. Can Emma does Emma think she could do something to disrupt the colors and make them inactive for a while? If she works hard at it?
You'd need either one of the rings from this stone set or to get access to the actual stone.
Okay, hold on, I gotta check something here. Didn't give quotes any sleight of hand ranks.
Oh, and nice to see you again, Jazzy.
Quoth is gonna just kind of look around for people who have the keys and see. Any of them are not 10.
Okay, make a perception check.
24.
Okay, so are you looking for the keys to go with for the stone, or are you looking for a ring to tie to the stone, or keys for one of the rooms?
She's mostly looking for something that's tied to Quoth is.
Okay, so you're looking for what?
To hopefully.
Okay, right. With that, I need Quoth to make me either a stealth or a sleight of hand check.
He's not trying to steal it. He's just looking for someone who looks like they're attention.
Okay.
Or where the stone probably is.
Okay.
You can probably get in there.
Okay, the stone is almost certainly in one of the offices in the main building, as I already said.
Alright. I'll go ahead and give Quoth another stealth roll. Alright, come on, Quoth. You got a plus 12, man. Alright. And he's gonna try and approach the person who looks like they're paying the least amount of attention.
Okay. As a pigeon.
As a pigeon.
Right. Okay. Just need to make a quick check.
It's eventually going to be like any team with wings is going to die.
Yeah, unfortunately, the guard with the ring, one of the guards does take a notice, and whilst he doesn't necessarily have any particular malice, he looks at a rather large wood pigeon, licks his lips, and throws a dagger at Quoth.
He's like, I'm hungry.
Dinner.
Get the hell out of there. Quoth is gonna fly out of there and just fly back to
He
us.
just squawks indignantly.
Yeah. Because, funnily enough, fat bird in this particular time period equals good eating.
Yeah.
Particularly pigeon, because I don't know if any of you have ever tried wood pigeon, but very nice.
Yeah, so Quoth will fly back to the group,
Yeah.
and then we'll report what happened.
What is the blue square?
Oh, that's the this one. Hold on. That's the stables. I actually
Yeah.
tried to make that look
Stable,
purple.
okay.
But Emma will turn to the group and say, "But if we are able to get one of those rings, I can disrupt it. If not, completely cancel the magical effect." And then she'll explain her idea with trying to get people out in the dead of night while releasing the open as a distraction.
Okay.
And she'll turn to Arisk and just go, "You think you can get? You think you or one of your people can get one of those?"
So Rabat will ask Emma where Quoth saw the nearest guy with a ring.
Where's the guy who wasn't paying a lot of attention but tried to stab Quoth for being a dick?
I could try it.
Well, they're on a bit of a rotation, but you'd probably expect him to be sort of around here. He'd be near to one of the edges at the moment.
Okay.
Alright. And where are we at? We're at the cliffs.
Yeah.
I'd imagine we're like up here,
Yeah.
north,
Alright.
west corner, basically.
And how tall is the cliff?
Probably about 30
Emma
feet.
can cast Featherfall on.
Oh, 30 feet?
And
That's fine.
Emma does have. And Emma can cast Featherfall if need be.
Yeah, if it's only 30 feet, it's not a big deal. So we can just tie a rope to one of these trees here. And down there we go.
Okay, I'll need climb checks then, people. Followed by and stealth checks.
Of course.
Hey, at least your minimum stealth is probably better than what I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, but you're the fighter. It's to be expected.
I'm ready to take a nice fall. Not too bad. Oh, and then a stealth check on top of that?
And cast Featherfall on her.
You know, since considering we're only going to conceal a range, the less stealthy people could stay back.
Yeah, I actually just planned on
Oh,
it.
then she wouldn't go. She'll just send Quoth with you guys then if she's not needed.
Listen, I just don't want to be at the top of the cliff.
Yep, there you go.
So, everyone's tagging along to steal the ring, even though only me and Verbatim said we were going to go.
Dude, we're liberating here. We're going.
We're not making the attack. We're just stealing one of the rings.
It doesn't matter. We're liberating.
I'm just going down to the water.
Yeah, same.
For the most part, with the distance you've got, you'll be fine. But yeah, you've got some cover at near the lake, so yeah, that's fine.
So just Arisk and Verb going?
Think for that for your next bit, yes.
Alright, okay. Arisk, how's your sleight of hand?
Currently at a plus 11.
Plus 11, okay, so you're one better than I am. I will attempt to aid you, and I guess if we fail that, we can turn it into something physical, but hopefully we can get up there without being seen.
Right, if you can make me
So
another
turn it
stealth check, each of you.
Sure.
Yeah, and both will be flying ahead to serve as a stunner if he needs to be.
Okay. Right.
But if he's noticed, he'll fly away.
Okay.
And once we get to about, I don't know, maybe here? Or no, probably right here by these trees. Verban's gonna vanish on both him and Aruz.
Okay.
That gives them 3 rounds each of invisibility.
sleight of hand break it?
Sleight of hand should not, no.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Okay, so
Not unless you're trying to sleight of hand a dagger into his ribs.
Alright, with Rodham's aid, I'll go ahead and roll sleight of hand.
I do that sometimes.
yeah, you're able to slip the ring right off his finger.
And then back up to Emma.
Right.
Yep.
Oh joy!
Alright, let's wait until nightfall until we overload it.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it already was at least towards nightfall when you were doing this.
Alright, okay, good. Just make, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you wanted
Well,
to
otherwise,
interfere,
Is
but
there
you know-
anyone who, when near where we bait, are there any slaves that are close? Any slaves that Emma could send a message?
No, the most of the slaves are kept up here.
So there's no one working, no one picking up or the fields or anything?
It's nighttime, Emma. We have already just established that.
Okay. Cloth is going to fly in one of the windows
Okay.
and look for someone among the group who's least likely to panic.
I'm the least likely to panic.
No, of the slaves.
Right.
Perception for someone who looks like they won't panic if they get a message spell in there.
I think that'd be more of a sense motive.
Agreed.
Alright.
Yeah, if you've got a sense motive, sense motive, if you've got it, please.
20 sense motive.
Yeah, you spot someone who looks fairly likely. It's yeah. Surprisingly, female halfling male looks a bit sort of middle-aged.
Makes sense.
Okay. Quoth is going to send a message. It is going to be that the camp of miners who liberated themselves are going to try and free them as well. And that may require some explosions and stuff tonight, so get ready to run. And you may reply to this message.
Okay. Right, you'll just hear basically replying, "Ah, great, going mad again." What if it really
Cook will
was?
send another message spell. You're not going mad. This is a magical spell that allows me to talk to your brain.
Oh yeah, won't make them think they're mad.
If it
But if you want to believe you're crazy, you can. Just make sure that when explosions happen, you're ready to run.
she'll give a weary sort of nod.
And Cool will ask, what is your...
She'll answer her, Keegan.
Okay, Keegan, please pass the message on to anyone when... If there are any strange noises tonight, don't panic. And when you see the chance, make sure as many people get the hell out as possible. The collars will soon be deactivated.
Okay. Right. So I need you to make me a knowledge arcane check to attempt to overload the stone. Actually,
Yep.
have you got to use magic device trained at all, or?
Yes, she does.
Right.
And also, she was going to try and use the... She took the little crystal with her and is going to try and use the little crystal to help overload it.
Right. Okay. Right.
Verboten will inspire competence and aid.
Okay, use the magic device.
Okay.
Here's the roll.
So,
Okay.
Plus 2 is
22,
20.
and then
And 8 on top of that, so 24. Right. Okay. Right, so you're attempting to overload the crystal network, basically.
Yeah, basically, just shut it down.
Okay, there's a difference between shut it down and overload it. I need to know which one you want to do.
She's hoping to cause an... she's basically hoping to cause an overload that'll shut everything down.
Okay,
Her main goal is to turn it off.
right. Okay, roll me a reflex save.
Oh, this is gonna be fun for the caster. At least my reflex isn't that bad.
Considering how the last crystal overload nearly killed us, this should have been
25.
Okay, thankfully it's not as bad as last time. You're able to avoid the damage, thankfully. Because
Okay.
you have deactivated the collars, and you have basically inflicted a small amount of damage to each of the rings and the crystal on the other end.
Emma's gonna send message to the others. Crystals are down. Go, go, go.
Yeah, and you basically did 5 points of damage to to any of the guards wearing the rings or anyone in the room with the crystal.
Yeah.
I'll basically tell the people, don't attack unless you tell. If you see us engaged, attack. If not, just hold back as we go in.
And
Cloth is gonna fly over to the ogre cage.
yeah, there isn't much of a cage left.
Oh, they're gone. Okay, that makes things so much easier.
Yeah, when you blew it up, you kind of sent an electric shock through their. You kind of blew off their collars and sent an electric shock through it at the same time.
Oops.
Emma's gonna send a message with quotes to the lady who she shot. Sorry about that.
Oh, you haven't done it to the humans. They have a different collar configuration.
Oh, excellent. Emma's gonna, Quoth is gonna then say that the ogre's busted out. Message to the slave. Collars are down, move your asses.
and
Move
are
around
the
the back.
rest of us are doing something at this point, or
Yeah, and
Yeah, I'd be making my way towards the slave building.
yeah. Collars are down, helps come and get ready to move your...
Okay.
So he will wait and time it to the moment Arisk is about to open the door.
Okay, right.
For dramatic effect.
Of course.
Though I am certain they heard the ogres explode out of their cage.
Alright. Is there a back entrance hopefully towards the path?
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, there's a door towards the path. Yes.
Okay, I'm hoping. Are the guards gone? At least I'm hoping they've run off their.
Yeah, most of them will be running off. There might be some that come your way in a bit, but you'll be able to get the slaves out of the way for the most part.
Alright, you're hurrying up, and I'm gonna try and pick the lock.
Okay. Let me disable device check then.
while he's doing that,
Of course.
as Verbotten's streaks by, he'll go reroll.
Wait, why are you streaking now?
Because it's Verbotten.
But yeah, you're able to get it open. Don't worry.
Verbotten is putting a thermite detonator here.
Sorry, honey.
So when they
Yeah.
open the door, it goes boom.
Okay, right.
Wait, when the splay's open, it goes boom, or when?
This door here.
Okay, right.
Okay.
So we're all on the ground, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at front of the slave buildings. I'm at the slave building picking a lock. I kick the door open and go, start moving.
Yeah. It's like
Where are the orcs? Or the ogres, I mean.
currently rampaging.
Like, where's their rampage going on?
Hold on. They'd be heading this. Oh, sodding hell! I do not need it doing that today. Just give me a second.
Earthquake!
They run.
Just leave it, man. I'm sure. I think we'll be good without it for now.
Hold on.
Oh no, I was just wondering like which direction.
They'd be heading this way most likely.
Okay, so they're heading up far away from what we're trying to do. That works perfectly.
Yeah, now we're at the point where we don't need to worry about stealth now, right?
You're at a point where basically you are not really capable of getting stealth because you've got a bunch of running slaves with you.
Yeah.
Oh no, we said at the very beginning of this we have to kill the whole entire place.
Yeah.
If this plan goes south, yeah. But we are probably still gonna have to take it.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of which,
let's
as you are able to get sort of your slaves to about here without a problem, but you will have to do a fight. Why is it to about there? At which point I will have you guys do a quick combat because there's bound to be somebody that notices you by then.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because let's face it, even.
I don't. Why wouldn't we take? Isn't this a path right here? Going up the mountain.
Yeah, true. So, but yeah, either way, one way or another, there would be a point where you would get to where you'd have to have a fight. But yeah. But yeah, if you want it
We're
to be
downstream from them, right? We could just take some boats.
No, because we came from here.
That's where we were scouting from. I don't know where exactly this is from alignment.
I will put it this way. You would not. I will put it this way. No, you are. If you were to get in the boat and go that way, you'd be going further into Rakash's territory. You are up. You are up. But you are based upstream. You are based sort of. Whilst they are south of you, they are also. You are also up. They are also downstream. Just the way the certain rivers flow and all that sort of thing.
So we just need to take the boat up the other way.
There's a waterfall there.
If Salmon can do it.
There's no way to do it.
No, you
There's
can't.
a waterfall, and we don't have any boats up on
Yeah,
the top of the cliff.
we're just gonna be probably taking him out this way up this path.
Okay, fair.
Really, really close to this door, where the slave camp is. They can literally just go right out that.
Yeah.
So as I say, if you could just, I'll move your the tokens that I have. Nix, you'll have to bring yours over from somewhere else, but for the most part, I'll just copy your tokens and put them onto the combat arena.
We are gonna kill Hobgoblin. They're going to squish.
And why is it decided that
this is why you're
copy
not
doesn't
teaching the
work?
orcs.
Okay, I'll let you guys order yourselves once I bring you around to the map. So feel free to rearrange yourselves, but that's the force you're dealing with.
Oops.
And as I say,
Right,
Nix,
which
you'll have to
one's
copy
size?
your token onto it because, as I say, I didn't have yours for copying.
Oops.
Well, this
Yeah,
is
no, I'm
pretty
getting
close
it.
to
Okay.
Pretty close to where I'm with one of.
Come on. Alright, now it's not wanting to do anything.
Okay, I'll get you a token. Sorry, just
Okay, I got Rama at least.
and of course the touchpad doesn't want to play ball either. I'll scan around and see if I can. I'm going to bluster. I'm going to burst
There
in
we
a
go, I got it. Don't worry about it, I got it.
Right, okay. I'm going to end up having an aneurysm if this thing keeps doing the way it does.
Alright.
course it isn't. Just be a second, guys.
Wait, why is a quote and not me? That should be me. Please ignore the token. Apparently, I clicked the wrong guy. So quotes token in the initiative tracker instead of Emma's.
As long as it's the right initiative, that's not a major problem.
Mhm.
Just be a second, I'm having a wee bit of an issue with one of my other programs that's bugging to hell and back.
I'm so angry because these guys are in the perfect lineup for color spray. And I'm pretty sure I'm going last.
I haven't rolled for them yet, so never say never and all that. With my luck.
Well, so even then it's on cloth plus 6. You still gotta roll for Emma herself. She can get better.
No, that was Emma's roll, remember, and she just clicked on the wrong token because companions go on the same term as their just to save on initiative. And this is why I hate using Roll20 with a touchpad. If only that bloody mouse hadn't broken. Would have to be today, wouldn't it?
That's just mean.
What?
They still go before me. Then they get a 7.
Yeah, I'll just run the lot. Actually, no, I won't. I'll do it in sets of 2 groups rather than, because that's only one of them. Not that I actually think most of these will get a turn, but well, you're not going dead last, Emma.
Okay, I feel slightly better. Because again, I'm pretty sure by the time I get a turn, the majority of these guys are not going to be conscious.
Well, that might be true.
And I'm certain we're going to have a very full kid.
Probably neck. Oh, and I should be going before that one, but yeah. Okay, this guy's going to use his move action to pull out a bow and fire.
Chris, are you getting possessed?
Frustrated and unable to do anything about it. It's either this or I swear profusely and hit somebody.
Yeah, sounded close enough at least.
So that's basically a yes.
No, it's Never mind, I'm not going into that on screen. I will save the rant for later. Same again. Missing horribly, and Arusk, you're up.
I'll hold until one of the melee people gets into combat with them. So just delay my turn until someone, Kroggle, Aaron, or Rama get into melee with them all.
Okay, will do. Sorry, I'll... So, probably move you back to at least behind Aaron and we'll see after that. Okay, another ranged attack. I think that might hit you, Arusk. 22?
Yep, there's the first.
Six damage.
Was there supposed to be an addition to that?
No,
or just a D8?
it's just D8, but because I'm using the D20 roller, it always has the plus next to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you took more damage than I did in the siege. You might, if you survive this, you might actually be worth the promotion.
Oh boy!
Yikes.
And for some reason now it won't roll a second.
Who's that against?
That'd be against Kroggle, so it doesn't confirm. Hits though, so Kroggle, you're about to take some damage.
Oh no.
3 points of damage. Aaron, you're up.
Alright. God dang it. Just gonna double move.
And Jazzy, yeah, no, it's just the... I use a laptop, so when you're trying to run on Roll20 through a laptop, touchpads are a nightmare.
Double move and
Okay.
that's it.
Gotcha. So Arusk will be waiting again.
1 second, I can confirm or deny that, but I actually exited out of roll 20.
Okay. Right, so we'll just give it a second whilst...
Yep, I'll keep delaying.
Okay. So this one's going to take a pot shot at Aaron. Actually, which one is this? Yeah. And that's a miss on Aaron. Babatin, you're up.
Alright, let's see if this works. Oh, Jesus.
Oh great, the entire stream's just been rickrolled.
Tell me that's for Bat singing.
Set up our song.
Like,
Okay, one bardic performance and rickrolling the entire stream. I think you've just killed our audience. Oh dear. Okay. So that's for Batin's turn out the way, unless you've got anything else you want to do.
He will actually move up.
Alright. And Now it's Nyx's turn. Why do I get the feeling Rama's about to be moving up and doing some heavy damage?
Well, he can't because he'd have to double move to get all the way up there.
Charge is double movement but a single attack. And, and he could charge up to there and get within striking distance of the leader of the group.
Okay. Well, he'll do that then. Actually, hang on 1 second. Let me make sure there's nothing.
Go, Rama!
Give me 1 second, sorry.
No problem.
And he does have the flag out.
Yeah, so it'd be a plus.
Okay.
So that's +2 to everything.
Right.
Well, +2 to attack and damage in Rama's case. So +4 on the charge. Ooh.
There. And I was gonna look at. Oh. Nah, she's not gonna do anything to him. Okay. So he'll charge and take the first claw attack only.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be a hit, and +2 on damage, so that's 10 damage.
And then next is going to cast. Hang on. There we go. Oh, dang, she should have cast that on him. Shit. Oh well, too late. She's gonna cast Gravity Bow on herself.
Okay.
And she can't attack after that, can she, right?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, just want to make sure. So, but I think she will. She's gonna move a little over to the side. There.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Thankfully, it does last a minute per level, if we get that far.
Do what?
It lasts a minute per level, so you've got 3 minutes of Gravity Bow. Whether the combat will last 3
Yeah.
minutes is a different matter.
Yeah, so that's 2d6. I gotta change that. Actually, you know what? I want to do this instead.
Okay, so is that it for your turn then, next?
Yeah.
Okay, Aros, you're up.
Alright, I'll charge and attack the top left goblin.
Okay. I do believe that fellow is still flat-footed, so you'll get your sneak.
No, I just checked. Sadly, he's one of the 20 people.
Alright.
+2 on top of this.
Okay, so that's... down he goes.
Yeah, finally try this thing out, and Ares will flick the blood off the first goblin onto the one next to him.
Yeah.
Alright.
Now it's the turn of this particular goblin, who's going to 5-foot step over here, and then attempt to attack. And miss Rama horribly. That one's going to take a shot at Arusk. Ooh. 20 to hit Arusk. What? Ooh, shine. At least there's nothing. At least there's no extra damage to be multiplied. Just the actual dice. Oh, that should be think that's the first time I've got a confirmed crit in this campaign.
Sammy, I think you're right.
Oof! 13 damage.
Wait, shouldn't it just be? Is it?
Wait, to who?
Eris.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's a both ×3 crit weapon.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm not going to be unfair about things, but yeah. Okay.
Which one was it who hit him? Which of the goblins? That guy?
Yeah. I do believe. Just let me double check by...
Wait, with
yeah.
the arrow? He would have been too close.
That one, sorry.
Alright.
The one that's currently got the yellow box around it.
Okay.
So if it had been the other one, it would have been moving into attack, which would not have done so well. Kroggle, you're up.
Yeah, that's me.
So you're just moving up to there.
Yep.
That not a charge, or... Oh, I suppose it couldn't be.
I can't make a charge with that. Too many allies in the way.
Right. Which... Okay, so now it's the turn of the... Sergeant. Now he has to decide which to attack. The tiger that just took a chunk, or the dwarf that just appeared out of nowhere. Probably going to take a swing at the tiger. And
Nope.
miss horribly.
Even if he got a nat 20, he still wouldn't hit.
Oh dear. I forget that Rama's now got barding and his ridiculously high AC.
Well, he would only be, his AC is 26, so that would be just one below if he got a nat 20.
The nat 20 would still hit because nat 20's hit, but...
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can never confirm.
No.
None of these guys can confirm on the kitty.
Yeah.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
2 nat 20s.
Yeah. Oh. Right. Emma, you're up.
Alright, Emma with cloth on her shoulder is gonna walk to about here.
Okay.
And Quoth is then gonna fly over here. And Emma's then gonna cast on the one that shot at Aris.
Yeah, through Quoth.
Oh no, she's gonna cast magic missiles.
Ah. Okay, so
So
2d so 2d4 plus 2.
plus 4 technically because oh no wait, Bard form.
Bard performance doesn't affect spells.
Yeah. Except for 8. So that guy gets 7 points of damage.
Still standing.
And then the captain, through the quote, is gonna get chill touch.
Okay. That will provoke an attack of opportunity. I think. Let me double
That's
check.
fine. His AC right now is 20.
Okay. Yeah, that's a miss from the captain, so...
Yeah. So this is touch.
Okay, make the touch attack. That's going to fail.
Or it's touch. So yeah, this guy just had a wood pigeon try and claw at him.
Okay.
And is probably really confused.
Yeah, probably.
Like, what the fucking pigeon?
Okay, now it's...
I mean, he's got an armored cat attacking him, but bird, not so much a stretch.
Well, again, you would think he would probably see the bird as a threat.
And that's a miss from the goblin attempting to engage with Arusk.
Although Emma did just point a big target on her face, going, "Hey, look, I can guess."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, funnily enough, yeah, someone's just had that pointed out to them. 15, 30...
Well, anytime Emma's actually tried to stab someone with a weapon, she's never hit any.
Yeah, it looks like there's one making a beeline for you. This one's going to attempt to take a shot at Kragel. Because he's firing into melee, he takes the normal penalty, so it's a straight shot. And that's a miss.
Who's hit?
That wouldn't hit anybody.
No, I mean, did it go to... Yeah.
It's like Ragnar.
Funnily enough, no one's trying to jump in and get into combat. No one else is trying to get in combat with the cat.
Well, he did see Kitty rip off a good chunk of somebody.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm gonna point this guy and be like, "I'm watching you" with sign language.
In fact, yeah, we'll have him move into there.
And all the slaves just saw Emma cast magic missile.
Yeah. That one's actually dead. So now, Aaron, your turn. Fair enough. So. Aaron, you going to roll for your attack, or?
Yeah, I just did.
Ah, now it comes through.
Does that have flanking in there?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me.
Yeah, and does that incorporate? Does that? Well, actually, either way, yeah, that confirms as a crit.
Is that including the bard song to damage?
Yep, that's everything.
Nice.
And down goes the sergeant.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. This one's going to be very brave or very stupid, depending on how you look at it. Well, actually, no, it's automatically very stupid, but...
There are goblins.
Yeah. Charge the cat!
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
And miss horribly. Babatin, you're up.
Alrighty. He looks over at the one that's charging over at Emma, and he will let fly with the crossbow.
Okay. And there's a confirmed crit.
Boom!
Is he still alive after all that damage?
No, he's not. I'm guessing you were actually using one of your explosive bolts.
Yep.
Yeah! Chunky salts are all over the place.
And that's it for him. He'll reload.
Yeah, I'm guessing continuing the performance, obviously.
Yep.
Okay, Nix's turn.
He should be within range. Yeah, okay. So... this guy.
Yeah, that hits.
And then on this guy, the one that charged him.
The bite misses, but the 2 claws hit. And down we go.
They're dropping like flies.
Well, yes, they're used to guarding camp farm slaves. They're not used to fighting actual opponents. let alone psychotic gnomes singing Rick Astley while launching explosive bolts. Aris, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna act roll acrobatics to get out of melee. Avoid attack of opportunity.
You could. I was gonna say you're acrobaticsing, aren't you?
That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that succeeds. Oh, that only needs to be a 5-foot step, dude. That wouldn't provoke anyway.
I know, but I'm moving around into flanking.
Ah, gotcha. We're slightly confuzzled there. Just trying to.
I can't get into flanking from there. 1 second. Ignore the move.
I'm not seeing any at the moment. I think Roll20 is lagging on me again.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
Yeah, me
Saw
neither.
Emma move up and move back.
Yeah.
That was it.
Just a quick check.
Yeah, I saw you move as well, so I'm not seeing anything from you at the moment, Arusk. There we go.
Never mind. I can't get into flanking. There's no way I can get into flanking from anywhere. So.
Oh.
Never mind. Forget the acrobatics attack. I'm just gonna try and cut this guy's head off.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that hits.
Yep, I'm just attacking the one directly to my right.
So, hang on. I'll try and ping them. So, are you looking for this one or this one?
Directly to my right.
Ah. Okay.
That'll be it.
Okay. Attempt to attack Rama. Miss horribly.
Again, you have to respect that they're brave enough to attack the thing that has repeatedly mauled multiple people at this point.
Yeah, and then he's going to 5-foot step backwards. Just going to roll a quick morale check. Yeah, no, that.
I'm out of here.
Yep.
How far is it going? Okay.
You might be living to a worse fate.
Yeah, he's not actually able to clear the arena, but yeah.
Well, this is the guy that Emma smacked with the magic missile, right?
No, he's not been hit at all so far.
Yeah, he hasn't. Alright.
He is, however, directly in Kroggle's charge lane.
Yeah, because unfortunately, we can't let these guys survive. They saw us.
Yeah. So, Kroggle, am I right in thinking charge ahoy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, roll you to hit. And down he goes.
At that point, point at this guy as soon as I kill the other guy.
Anything in particular you want to say to him?
No, I'm just pointing at him and giving him like a death glare.
Okay. Emma, you're up.
Okay, Emma's gonna do 2 magic missiles and kind of split it up between this guy who she already hit and this guy here.
Okay.
So,
Okay, roll me d4 plus 1 for each of them.
yeah. For the guy she already hit,
So this one?
yeah.
Because I don't think that one's actually been hit before, because...
No, because I hit one who had shot it out.
Might have been the one I just killed.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, then never mind. Then he would have gotten both. So. No, she still would have split it up.
Okay. And this
She
one?
discouraged running away.
So roll for your next one then.
4.
And that one drops.
Close. Yay. Close gonna fly over to this one and try and do a chill touch.
Okay, provoking attack opportunity.
Got
Yeah, no.
yeah,
My
actually,
GM's look is following as usual for the most part.
Okay. 21 hit touch.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Third level, so. So that's 3d6 cold damage.
Oh boy.
And. Yeah, trying to remember because I think he also has strength damage.
I'm just double checking myself with chill touch.
If he's already dead, I don't think it really matters.
Well, he's
Oh,
not dead
well.
yet.
Let's see.
Oh, we need to make a fortitude save.
Okay. And Emma's gonna put an arcane point in it, so instead of 15 minutes. Yeah, he made it. Darn it.
Yeah, well, he's still looking pretty rough.
Crowd will be able to finish the jump tournament in mid-space.
Yeah. Well, he's going to now make another attempt to attack Quoth before moving on.
Which will be kind of funny.
21 to hit.
Him. That hits close.
Eight damage.
Ouch.
Yeah, considering Quotham he has 11 hit points, he's in pain.
At which point he will attempt to move away. I believe that still provokes attacks of opportunity from Quoth, though, so...
Yeah, it does.
You're gonna need to get flyby attack. Yeah, Emma.
Alright, this will be his claw attack. Actually, no, Quotham has the bite.
Okay.
Here's it.
Roll to hit and then I'll...
Yeah.
No.
That doesn't hit. Alright, so he gets away. Grago, please kill him. Or
Yeah,
Rama.
he's really not getting anywhere.
No.
Rama, go kill it.
Yeah, I was gonna...
Yeah, cause
Yeah, he couldn't have picked a worse place to land, really, could he?
no matter what happens, yeah, oh wow, he's in checkmate. He's got 3 people.
Okay, so now that one opposite Aros is going to try and take a swing. And drop his sword.
Eris just looks bored at this point.
At which point he's going to attempt to run away and you get your attack opportunity, Arusk.
Let's trip him. Let's try and trip him.
Yeah, that'd work.
As he turns to go, I just swatch out the back of his Achilles tendon and just bring the sword down.
Yeah, you've tripped him, and yeah, he's dead.
So, when to go?
Yeah, Aaron, you're up.
Alright, I'm just gonna walk over to Quoth and usher Quoth to come down to me and cast Cure Light Wounds on him.
Okay.
Here you go.
Verbata?
Quoth just lands on you and starts nuzzling his furry head.
And just to say, Arosk, I don't think goblins are good eating.
When you're hungry, enough, anything tastes good.
Damn it.
That is actually a miss.
Yeah, I figured.
Well,
Minimum damage all around anyway.
Alright.
and now I do.
Drama.
I think Nyx might be dealing with her cats at the moment.
No, it's fine now. But he like jumped up and my headset that I have plugged into, it's actually a Bluetooth headset for my phone. So I use one of those AV cables to hook it up to my computer.
Yeah.
And he jumped up to grab something else and he pulled on the AV cable and it unplugged the headset.
Oh dear. Yeah. Joys of cats.
Alright.
That's why I keep the cats out of my room.
You've actually managed to do that? I commend you.
I know how to open my door, so.
Yeah, squish. No survivors left.
Alright, once all this is done, Emma is going to use prestidigitation to hide all evidence of their blasting, of the magic, more or less to try and hide any evidence that they were killed by the party.
Okay, that's fair enough. You could also dump. Just dump the bodies in the river.
About the
No,
bodies
that's
in the river,
plan.
the
Yeah,
rat.
that's part 2, but just to make sure, in case the bodies are found.
Okay, right. So you flee into the night with spoils of many different types of seed, lots of fresh veg and fruit.
And a group of free peoples.
Yep.
How many free people do we rescue?
You'd probably have about 2 dozen. Actually, no, you've got a guard group of 50, so you'd probably have closer to another 100 people free. I'm looking at the wrong notes. I need to get these notes separated.
And I really hope the rest of the camp enjoy the rampaging ogre.
Yeah. Quite. Okay.
Another indirect boss kill, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, just wait until Emma can start casting rage. And we have situations like that.
Oh dear. Right. Well, I think that's going to be it for this week, folks. We'll have to see what goes on next week. Potential for underground investigations, or who knows what else. With the latest batch of discoveries.
And we have new potential. And Emma has new potential students. Yay!
Yeah. Alright, well, take care, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you all this time next week. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, folks.